I used to spend 4 hours a week writing docs nobody read. Now I spend 0. In the next 3 minutes I will show you the exact 2-prompt workflow that ended my documentation habit forever. No fluff, no setup fees. Docs are the work everyone hates but the codebase needs. The reason most docs are bad is they get written long after the code, by someone who has forgotten the context. Claude Code fixes this because it reads the code right now and writes docs that actually match. Here is exactly how I use it. A good README answers 4 questions in the first 30 seconds. What is this? Why does it exist? How do I install it? How do I use it? Ask Claude to read your repo and draft a README following that structure. Tell it which examples to include and what level the audience is, beginners, experienced developers, or your team specifically. The first draft will be 80% right. Edit the framing, keep the structure. For APIs, point Claude at your route definitions and ask for OpenAPI or Markdown documentation. Claude will infer the request and response shapes from the code, write descriptions for each field, and add example requests. If you use TypeScript types or Pydantic models, the inference is even more accurate. The output is documentation that matches the code because it was generated from the code. Docstrings and code comments age fast. Ask Claude to add docstrings to a file in your preferred style: Google, NumberPy, JSDoc, TSDoc. Specify what to include: parameters, returns, raises, examples. For complex functions, ask for a brief explanation of why the logic is structured the way it is, not just what it does. Comments that capture intent are the kind that survive contact with future maintainers. For higher-level docs architecture decisions, system overviews, runbooks, Claude needs more guidance. Tell it the audience and the goal. Write an architecture overview for a new engineer joining the team next week, focusing on how the payment flow works. Produces a different doc than explain the system to a security auditor. Be specific about the reader. Docs go stale because code changes faster than people write. Ask Claude to compare your current README or API docs against the actual code and flag the mismatches. It will find renamed functions, removed endpoints, and incorrect examples. Do this in your pull request workflow and your docs will stay accurate without anyone making heroic effort. First, document the why, not the what. The code already shows the what. Second, write docs at the right zoom level for the reader. A contributor needs different docs than a user. Third, store doc generation prompts in a skill so the whole team uses the same style. Fourth, when you write a new feature, generate the docs as part of the PR, not as a follow-up task. Documentation is a force multiplier that compounds over years. Claude Code makes it cheap enough that there is no reason to skip it anymore. Spend 20 minutes on the doc.